Hey everyone, so this is Brian here from Cork Rooftop Farm, coming to you from the very spot that we will be installing our new farm over the next few weeks. I said it was long overdue to give you a bit of a tour around and show you where we are, and maybe tell you a bit about why we're doing this and how we came up with the idea. So I suppose we're all in isolation at the moment and being left alone with our thoughts a bit more than usual, and looking for things to occupy our time where we have a lot more downtime now than usual. I myself run my family business, which is Central Floral Supplies, with my father, and we're closed currently. So the idea was, let's fill up the time now with something else, and we have this lovely big space available to us here that has never had anything done to it, so we have full access to it. So we said, why not give it a go? We have an abundance of space and way more time, so let's give it a crack. And the more we thought about it, the more we got excited about it. So it's myself and my partner Ty, we're both doing it here, so there's two of us doing it. We kind of came up with the idea about 4 weeks ago, and we said, you know, maybe we'll just do something small to start off with, but not really how I like to do things usually. So we said, let's do a proper job, and let's try and make something really cool here, something we can be really proud of. And yeah, so what I suppose the steps in place. So a few questions that I keep getting asked through social media. The overwhelming reaction is that it's a great idea, and how are we going to get the topsoil onto the roof, and will the roof be safe, will it hold the load, will it leak, etc. So they're all very real concerns. So the first one was, would the roof support what we are doing? So we got an engineer to take a look, and he has seen the roof, he's seen the structure underneath, and we explained to him where the loads would be, so where the intended beds, the raised beds, would be going, roughly what weight the soil would be, and what it would be when it's soaked with rainwater, or we come to water it. And yeah, so he green lighted that. It's a very, very strong building here. It was built in the mid-50s, and it's nearly over engineered for what it is, so no problems there. So that was great. The roof had also been newly asphalted there about 5 years ago, so it's currently in fantastic condition. Now we do have to be mindful that we don't damage the asphalt. So where there's any point loading, we're putting protective layers over the asphalt to protect the asphalt, to make sure it doesn't, to spread the load, to make sure that there's no weight going down directly into small points, trying to spread the load evenly over the surface of the roof. Initially we're getting 20 tons of soil to fill our beds. That should allow us to fill 12 6 by 1 meter raised beds, and we will be getting those in 1 ton bags. So the idea is to get them dropped onto the roof directly onto pallets, and that will allow us to move them around and place them where they need to go without causing a mess, or too much back-breaking work. So there is only 2 of us, so it's not really practical to bucket and spade 20 tons of soil upstairs or up a winch or something like that. So the cleverer we can be about these things, the quicker we can get the operation running and get food in the ground and food in the soil, I suppose. So that's the plan there. We have a lot of scrap material on the roof here from a building alongside that has been recently renovated. So an old roof means we have a lot of scrap wood. So we're trying to reuse all of that within reason, and we're trying to reuse materials where possible. So anybody who has unwanted wood, scrap wood, things like that, pallets, DM us. Everything we can get our hands on now to I suppose keep the costs down initially, and to make it a bit more eco-friendly and reuse materials where possible. And we're trying to be careful that any of the materials we're using as well aren't going to be potentially damaging to the soil that we're going to be putting into the beds. So we got our polytunnel up. Tried to fly away on us there the other day, but we secured it down nicely. We are rather exposed to wind up here, and it's, with all the builder providers closed, it's difficult to get materials at the moment. So we're just waiting for them to reopen, I suppose, to get some blocks and get it tied down a bit more securely, and then when we get the soil delivery, we'll put in more around it to really secure it down. And so we'll grow all our seedlings in there, and any veggies that need that bit more heat, all our tomatoes, etc. We're also going to experiment with a bit of hydroponics and aquaponics. So when we're coming to do those things, I'll make a few videos explaining them for those who don't know what it is. One we're probably most excited by is aquaponics. So it's quite an interesting concept that we've come across, and I suppose it feeds into the convenience or the inconvenience of being on a roof and not having a self-regenerating soil that we can, we don't have a lot of compostable material around us apart from I suppose our own household waste and things like that, and what we generate from the garden going forward. So using fish to fertilize our plants is a really interesting idea to me, and yeah, so trying to learn as much about that as possible. Got an IBC water container there a few days ago, so we're going to use those to start the system, and we'll put a trial one into the polytunnel first and see how that goes, and then if that's a success we might increase it and kind of roll it out a bit further throughout the farm. We've also had a number of very interested beekeepers getting in touch asking will we be keeping bees, and the answer is yes. So we've a huge amount of flower seeds as well as fruit and vegetable seeds to plant into the garden. So we want to have a healthy ecosystem of bees and insects around the garden to help with pollination. So we're just trying to work out the best place to keep it at the moment, as we are completely surrounded by residential units, apartments, houses, and we just want to be a bit mindful of that. We will also be looking to keep chickens, so they will most likely be the only rooftop chickens in Cork, unless there's someone out there who can tell me otherwise. So yeah, they're going to have a room with a view, and so we look forward to getting them up and running as well. If you've any questions or you'd like to see anything more about what we're doing, just put them in the comment section below or send me a message. We'd love to hear from you. And hopefully when all this madness has died down, we'll be able to let people come visit and see what we've created up here. So next day I'll give you a physical tour of the rooftop farm and show you what's what. Hopefully by then we'll have topsoil delivered, raised beds fully made and seedlings planted, so be a bit more to show you. But yeah, that's it basically. So look, good to talk to you, and we'll post another video up soon giving a tour. All right, cheers guys.